Welcome to This Explainer. You know that awful sinking pit in your stomach when a total mystery charge pops up on your banking app? Yeah, this is for you. Today, we are handing you a strategic playbook to empower you against banking errors, sneaky unauthorized charges, and flat-out fraud. Because when your hard-earned money is on the line, just hoping for the best isn't a strategy. Knowing exactly how the system works absolutely is. We're going to break down exactly how you can fight back and win when a wrong charge hits your account.
Okay, let's dive into this. Just to put things into perspective, take a look at this number from the Nielsen report. $33.41 billion in global card fraud losses in 2024 alone. That is billion with a B. The stakes for your personal financial security have literally never been higher. This isn't just a rare, unlucky anomaly. It is a massive, industrialized problem. And because banks are processing millions of these disputes, you need to know exactly how to cut through all that noise to make sure your specific case gets the attention and the resolution it deserves.
So ask yourself, what would you do if your money was suddenly just taken? It's a completely gut-wrenching feeling to open your app and see a zero where your rent money should be, or some massive credit card charge from a country you've never even visited. Panic is totally the natural first reaction. But by the end of this explainer, you're going to replace that panic with a precise, step-by-step action plan. You actually have incredibly powerful legal weapons at your disposal. You just need to know how to wield them.
Here is our roadmap for today. We'll be covering 1. Spotting errors and your rights. 2. Preparing your dispute evidence. 3. Contacting your bank effectively. 4. The bank investigation timelines. 5. Overcoming denials and challenges. And finally, 6. Preventing future wrong charges. Let's get started. Section 1. Spotting errors and your rights. So according to federal regulations, a billing error casts a surprisingly wide net. It's not just straight-up identity theft or someone stealing your card. It actually includes being charged the wrong amount, a merchant accidentally hitting your card twice for the exact same transaction, or paying for goods that were simply never delivered. You know, like that custom t-shirt you ordered 3 months ago that just completely ghosted you. In fact, even just reaching out to your bank to request clarification or asking for a written receipt for a weird transaction you don't recognize can officially trigger these federal billing error protections. And this brilliantly illustrates the 2 major federal laws that act as your personal shield, completely depending on how you paid. First, we have the Electronic Fund Transfer Act, or FTIA. This is your heavy-duty protection for debit cards, ATM withdrawals, and ACH transfers. Essentially, whenever money is pulled directly from your checking account, that is real cash on the line. Then there's the Fair Credit Billing Act, or FCBA, which governs your credit cards. A massive advantage of the FCBA is that it legally allows you to withhold payment on the disputed amount while the bank investigates. Plus, the issuer cannot report you as delinquent for that specific withheld amount during the whole process. Section 2. Preparing your dispute evidence. Now, you might think step 1 is to immediately panic call your bank. Actually, scratch that. Here is a major pro tip. Your case is vastly stronger if you contact the merchant directly first. Why? Well, merchants face very real operational consequences, like hefty chargeback fees and processor scrutiny if a bank has to step in and force a refund. Many merchants will gladly fix the error themselves just to avoid that penalty. But hey, even if they don't, having a documented paper trail showing that you tried to resolve the issue with the seller first proves to your bank that you made a good faith effort. When you do finally take it to the bank, you need a rock-solid case. Banks resolve disputes with evidence, not just angry claims. You've got to gather the transaction date, the exact amount, and the merchant name. Take clear screenshots of your bank statement, pull up your order confirmations, your invoices, and any delivery tracking details that prove a package never arrived. If it's a recurring subscription you canceled, have that written proof of cancellation ready to go. The stronger your documentation, the faster the bank's dispute team can rule in your favor. Basically, make their job of giving you your money back as easy as humanly possible.
Section 3. Contacting your bank effectively.
All right, here are the actionable steps for execution. First off, whenever possible, file the dispute online through your bank's portal or app, rather than sitting on hold over the phone. Filing online creates an immediate, automatic, and time-stamped documented record. Second, you have to make sure you select the correct dispute category. Mislabeling a charge as unauthorized fraud when it's actually an item not received can send your case straight to the wrong internal review team, and that can lead to an automatic denial. Finally, attach all of your documentation on the very first submission. Don't drip feed your evidence, hit them with absolutely everything you have right out of the gate. So the crucial point here is how time directly impacts your wallet, especially with debit cards under the EFTA. If you report a lost or stolen debit card within 2 business days, your maximum legal liability is capped at $50. Not bad. But miss that tiny window and report it within 60 days of your statement, and you could be on the hook for up to $500. And if you wait longer than 60 days, there is literally no way around this. You could face unlimited liability, meaning you might lose all the money taken from your account. The clock is always ticking, so you absolutely must act immediately.
Section 4. The bank investigation timelines.
What's really fascinating here is that these timelines are mandated by strict federal regulations. They aren't just polite bank policies. For debit cards under Regulation E, the bank generally has 10 business days to investigate. If they need more time, they can take up to 45 or 90 days, but only if they issue a temporary refund. For brand new accounts under 30 days old, they get 20 days. Now, for credit cards under the FCBA, the bank must officially acknowledge your dispute within 30 days, and they have a maximum of 2 billing cycles, which is up to 90 days, to reach a final resolution.
If you're disputing a debit charge, you might receive what's called a provisional credit. Basically, this is a temporary refund issued to your account so you aren't left without your rent or grocery money while the bank takes its allowed 45 to 90 days to investigate. But hear this warning very clearly. These funds are strictly temporary. If the bank completes their investigation and decides the original charge was actually valid, they are legally allowed to reverse that provisional credit and pull the money right back out of your checking account, provided they give you written notice.
Section 5. Overcoming denials and challenges.
Look, banks don't just deny disputes to be mean, even if it feels that way. They deny them based on very specific criteria. The most common reasons include insufficient evidence from the consumer or the merchant providing compelling evidence that verified the charge on their end. Sometimes it's just a simple procedural error. Maybe you didn't respond to a follow-up question from the bank within 24 hours because their email went straight to your spam folder. Or, like we mentioned, you mislabeled a subscription cancellation as identity fraud. But remember, a denial is absolutely not the end of the road.
Let's move to and see how this builds into a seriously powerful escalation path. If you are denied, your very first move is to demand the specific reason for denial in writing. Next, you have the total right to submit new, strengthening evidence and ask the bank to reopen the investigation. If you are still hitting a brick wall and you know you are in the right, it's time to bring in the heavy hitters. You can file a formal complaint with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, or CFPB. When the CFPB gets involved, they route the complaint directly to the bank's executive compliance team. This bypasses standard customer service entirely and forces a legally tracked formal response from the higher-ups.
Section 6. Preventing future wrong charges.
Of course, the best defense is always a proactive one. Make it a strict habit to monitor your account statements monthly. But honestly, don't just wait for the statement. Go into your banking app right now and set up push notifications for every single transaction. This way, if a fraudulent charge hits, you know about it in 3 seconds, not 3 weeks. Keep your receipts and email confirmations for major purchases. And above all, if you see an anomaly, act immediately. Your federal protections are incredibly strong, but they severely diminish the longer you wait. Just a quick heads up before we wrap up. Please note that this explainer is for informational purposes only and does not constitute professional, financial, or legal advice. Always consult specific financial or legal professionals to address your unique situation, especially when you're navigating complex disputes or considering potential legal escalation.
We've covered the laws, the strict timelines, the hard evidence you need, and the escalation tactics. You now know exactly how the system works and how to fight back when a wrong charge threatens your financial security. But all this knowledge requires your ongoing vigilance. So ask yourself, are you checking your statements closely enough to protect your money today? Take control, set up those transaction alerts, and never let a wrong charge slide again.